Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hope you're doing well. So, I've been noticing a lot of men having conversations around why women don't want to have kids. And I've seen some women discuss how they really fear having children because they see the struggle that so many have because they come from broken and dysfunctional homes. So, with that being said, I think it's important to discuss that if we can help people not have pregnancy trauma, this will actually help a lot of women want to have kids, okay? And it's really important, okay, for us to make sure that we are support systems for our sisters and non-Muslims as well, because their children might become Muslim. We don't know. But if we in our own communities and our own families find unique and creative ways to minimize pregnancy trauma, this will help more women to want to have kids. I remember reading several passages and listening to several video recordings of a guy who was studying the occult. And he mentioned how if you make like something traumatic, it makes someone averted to it, which is basic, right? But let's examine how if those who want to reduce the population, right? How could they go about doing so in a unique way? Well, in industrialized birth is one of those ways because it's so uncomfortable. And in some communities, the nurses are so rude and mean and the doctors so callous that this has pushed women to want to do home births because they want to have a beautiful, peaceful, spiritual, nurturing birth. Okay? And if we can help women to have a good pregnancy and make her feel supported, I think there will be less fear around it, because no one knows the troubles that'll come from pregnancy. And we want to lower miscarriages. We want to increase the weight of the baby. So some women have low birth weight babies for numbers of reasons, but stress and lack of food is a huge contributor. So maybe we have, let's say, your brother's wife. She's pregnant, right? Now, you don't want to hover over her and infantilize her, but maybe there's a creative way where you could say, hey, would you like me to make you a lasagna so you don't have to cook tonight? Or, hey, I'm going to do a store run. Do you need anything? Is there a treat I can get you? Just helping her out in a way that makes her feel supported, cared, and loved for, and reducing trauma. Now, for the pregnant woman herself, one strategy that I did was not going around too many groups of people, right? So that would help me to avoid dangerous situations and unpleasantness and less opportunities for drama and stuff like that, right? And I let a lot of things go in terms of like, don't make a fuss about it. Just let it slide. You see what I'm saying? If you minimize stress in your pregnancy in so many arenas, this can help you have less pregnancy trauma. Okay? And so, if you're gonna marry a woman, right, and it's your first child, I think it would be wise for a husband to reflect around, okay, let's say he wants to have this many kids, or even just one. How can I support my wife and avoid trauma upon her? And I think one thing a man can do is to... women can get hormonal when they're pregnant, right? They can kind of cry for something or take something personal when it isn't. So just having patience with the emotional state and helping her to nap and making sure that, you know, noise pollution is down or she's comfortable, or she has a treat. Like, some women like treats. Okay, you're coming home from work. Do you want a decaf latte from the local coffee shop? Do you want something, some treat? That goes a long way. You surprise her with sweetness. I understand some women at first may not appreciate that. No doubt about it. But you should think about the baby. Okay? You want to do something kind. Now, this isn't simping. A lot of red pill people think being nice to your pregnant wife and trying to make her happy and reduce stress is a form of simping. It is not. Your child is affected by anger, stress, and the disturbances. You want to have a harmonious pregnancy for her. Okay? And that's important. Very important. And so I want you to know that one of the ideas that I've been thinking of over and over is, how do we reduce pregnancy trauma? Okay? Because pregnancy and delivery and postpartum are life-changing events. If a woman has a terrible pregnancy and a terrible experience at the hospital and has a rough postpartum, the chances of her wanting more children are greatly reduced. And that shows we need to fix that. Not necessarily, okay, hold on, let me rephrase that. Okay, we want people to have children, right? However, it's perfectly fine if a woman doesn't want more than 1 or 2 or 3. And everybody wants to have 10, okay? But we want to have women with good experiences, right? So we want to reduce trauma, angst, sadness, and suffering in that area. Life is hard. We can't patch up every hole. I get that. There's always going to be a leak. However, it's important that we look at what can we do to help support this pregnant woman. Now, there are crazy pregnant women who will fight, drink, and use drugs, and then we can think to ourselves, just give up on them, they're lost. But soft advice, sometimes tough love, there's a lot of things we can do to support that woman. And if we want to reduce abortions, helping to reduce pregnancy trauma will help women not think that abortion is the solution. Because some say, I had a bad pregnancy last time, or I had a bad birth process last time, and so it's better to get an abortion than go through that again, right? Or they get sterilized or go on these long-form birth controls. And so helping women to feel safe in their pregnancy, spiritually, mentally, and financially, is something we can do that's a good deed, because a pregnant woman is needy. And it's good to help the needy as a Muslim. Now, I do see a lot of Catholics have signs in front of their places of worship that say, "Are you pregnant? Do you need help? Call this number," and both in Spanish and English. So we as Muslim women should be doing the same, right? And like me, I'm the only Muslim in my family, so I can't always give spiritual advice to a pregnant person within the family because they're a different religion. But what I can do is just be there to help. I wasn't close with one of my sisters when she had her kid because we're not very close, so it's like awkward, it's very awkward. My other sister, she's like in high school, so maybe when she decides to have a family, she'll reach out. But I'm not really close with any of my siblings. We all have different parents. So like on my dad's side, we share the same dad, but they all have different moms. And then on my mom's side, we have the same mom, but we all have different dads. So there's like not, and I was only raised with 2. So the other ones grew up at a distance, so I'm not really close with them. So it's a little more difficult. However, I'll be here if they need the help. But with some of my friends who I'm close with, who have children, I'll be that form of support. And inshallah, if I'm still alive, I'll be there for my daughters. And if I have more children and they're boys, I'll try to help their wives, wives. You get it. So I think if more women, there's a lot of this coming, helping with pregnancy trauma from the Christian home birthers, homesteader groups. They're on the spear tip. They're doing great. Okay, but we, as Muslim women, I think have to make more of a presence of that online. You know, I think that is something that we should do. And so I want to remind all of you that I also have a motherhood playlist, because I care a lot about helping women like motherhood and helping to soften the hearts of women who are hardened against motherhood or who are jaded or traumatized. I want to be the change that I wish to see in the world. You know, my grandmother failed in many regards with her daughter. She was heavily traumatized. If you know my family history, you'll understand why. My mom wasn't that great, so I didn't have a grandmother example or a mother example. So I'm breaking the chain of dysfunction now, and I have to, I wouldn't say research, but be open to seeing what solutions are available and what others have discovered in that area. And then working on that project. Helping women to like motherhood feels like a very important project to me. And I don't see a lot of Muslim women on my feed doing that, you know. They focus on other topics, which is fine. But I'm just saying that making women like motherhood, talking about pregnancy and postpartum, feels like a battle that I want to participate in. And if we help men of different cultures, right, just all over the world, to kind of understand the female perspective more, I think that would keep a lot of marriages together. Because some men maybe are a bit more cold-hearted or callous or flippant or indifferent, and this causes resentment and leads to divorce. So divorce is a huge topic. So how a man treats his wife in pregnancy and during the delivery and postpartum can help their marriage become stronger or tear it apart, and she could be counting the days to where she could leave him, right? So if we want to help people get divorced less and pick better partners in life and reduce the women who have a lot of baby daddies, I think discussing pregnancy trauma and finding out ways to minimize that would be quite beneficial. Also, in some communities it's really unsafe. So a woman, if she's pregnant, should try to stay inside a little bit more. But with that comes loneliness and, isolation. So that's why I've made I've made live streams, and I've made videos, and I've done community posts, and I posted on Instagram at Milahan De Laurentiis on there, and about how you can keep your mind busy, how you can be strong when you're feeling physically nauseous or weak. When your body is growing a baby, sometimes your joints hurt, you're nauseated, you're irritable, so you have to find these coping mechanisms that help you. And there's just endless healthy options that can fortify you with struggling against that isolation. So you don't have to look at being a hermit or a homebody as something negative, right? I do understand that there are some women who, when they're pregnant, they want to show the world how tough they are. They're running, which is, to my opinion, is dangerous, but, leave it up to you and your doctor. But there's a lot of research on how miscarriages happen and what, a woman trying to deadlift and bench press while pregnant. I don't see that as good. But I think that you can just focus on soft, healthy, safe exercises instead of, trying to prove you're Wonder Woman. But again, there are safe ways to protect your womb while you're pregnant and be rational and stay motivated and energetic while you go through the nesting period of your pregnancy. Okay, and being at home and protecting your womb from the evil eye of others, from car accidents, criminals, and it is important. In California, pregnant women will get robbed. People don't have mercy on pregnant women. Okay, so you shouldn't think that men and women automatically are gonna respect your womb. Rather, you should treat it like you're Jake Sully in Avatar on the planet Pandora. Some people say don't look at the world like that, but with crime rates and just evil existing on this planet, I think that you should always take caution and have a security mindset, because wickedness exists and you want to avoid pregnancy trauma and secure yourself. Secure yourself. It's a very deep topic. Let me know what you think. What are some ideas that you have? How do you look at it? And maybe you have experience with this yourself, right? How did you overcome pregnancy trauma? How did you prevent it? Stuff like that. It'd be great if you comment and let us all know how you did it, because I think starting the conversation would be quite wise and beneficial to women as a whole. If you'd like to join my blog, where I also post a lot of stuff, long form content, it is www.subscribestar.com/MilahanArchive. Hope to see you there.